This video is on uniform motion and problem solving. So we're going to start off using our distance formula, which is d equal to r times t. D represents distance, r represents rate, t represents time. First example, we have one bicyclist rides 4 miles per hour faster than another. The faster rider takes 3 hours to complete a race, while the slower rider takes 4 hours. Find the speed for each rider. I found it best to set up a chart whenever trying to solve these uniform motion problems. It's easiest to do rate times time equal distance. So your rate is your first column, your time is your second column, then your distance is the multiplication of your first two columns. So when we look at the slower rider versus the faster rider, and we gather our information for our rates, it says one bicyclist rides 4 miles per hour faster than another. So what we do is let the slower rider be x and the faster rider be x plus 4. If you decide to let the faster rider be x, and that means the slower rider will have to be x minus 4. You just have to have the relationship of the faster rider being 4 more than the slower rider. So the faster rider takes 3 hours to complete a race, so that's the time for the faster rider, 3, and the slower rider takes 4 hours. So here we have 4 for the slower rider. Now the distance, the third column, is going to be rate times time, just like we saw in the formula, d is equal to r times t. So we take our rate, multiply it times the time, that gives us our distance. So x times 4 is 4x, x plus 4 times 3 is 3 times the x plus 4. And so that's how we fill out our third column. Once again, once we establish our rate and establish our time, multiply those two together, that will give us our distance. So it says they're having a race, they're running the same race. That means that they cover the same amount of distance. So if we want to set up an equation, we can set up the distances equal to each other. So the 4x and the 3 times x plus 4 should be set equal to each other because they represent the same distance covered. From there, we can solve the equation. Distribute 3 as 4 is equal to 3x plus 12. Subtract 3x from both sides. That'll be x minus 12 as your final answer. So then you go back and make sure you actually answer the question that they gave you. Remember that they said find the speed for each rider, not just for one rider. So since x is equal to 12, the slower rider was x, so that would be 12. Faster rider is x plus 4, which would be 16. All right, next one, two families that live 270 miles apart plan to meet for an afternoon picnic at a park that is located between their two homes. Both families leave at 9 a.m., but one family averages 12 miles per hour faster than the other family. If the families meet at the designated spot 2.5 hours later, determine first the average rate of speed for each family, then the distance each family traveled. So the first thing we do is recognize we have a faster family and a slower family. The rate for the faster family is supposed to be, there it goes, okay, 12, one family, there you go here, one family averages 12 miles per hour faster than the other. But it means the slower family would be x, faster family would be x plus 12. Then it says the families leave at 9 a.m., they both leave at the same time. And after 2.5 hours, they meet at the picnic. So 2.5 hours is going to be the time for each family. The time doesn't change for each. Once again, both families leave at 9 a.m. One moves faster than the other. And if they meet at a designated spot in 2.5 hours, so they both have traveled for 2.5 hours. So we can fill out a chart, finish filling out a chart, 2.5 times x plus 12, and then 2.5 times x. And that will be the distance traveled for each one of them. Now, if we look at this little diagram that I wrote up, so remember, it doesn't say that the distance traveled would be the same because remember, one travels faster than the other and they're meeting at a certain spot. It doesn't say that they meet in the middle. It just says that they meet 2.5 hours in. So the total distance apart from the both of them was 270. Got that from the word problem. And so the distance traveled by the slower family and the distance traveled by the faster family will be added together. If we add those together, that will give us the 270 miles because there's 270 miles apart from each other and they meet at a place that's between the two. So we take 2.5x add to the 2.5 times x plus 12, and set that equal to 270 as our equation. Distribute 2.5 plus 2.5x plus 2.5x plus 30 equal to 270. Add to 2.5x plus 2.5x, which would be 5x. 5x plus 30 equal to 270. Now we subtract 30 from both sides. It's 5x equal to 240. Divide both sides by 5. X is equal to 48. So A asks us for the speed of each family. So you plug in 48 for X, which is 48 for the slower family. Then X plus 12, 48 plus 12 is 60 miles per hour for the faster family. So the 48 miles per hour for the slower family, 60 miles per hour for the faster family. B asks for the distance that each one of them drove. So what you do is plug in, but just do R times T. We have our rate, which is 48, and 60 multiplied times 2.5, which is the time for both. So 48 times 2.5 is 120 miles. 60 times 2.5 is 150 miles. So the slower family traveled 120 miles. The faster family traveled 150 miles. And don't forget, they should add up to give us 270. That's the distance between the two. All right, one more example. An express train travels 25 miles per hour faster than a cargo train. It takes the express train 6 hours to travel a route, and it takes 9 hours for the cargo train to travel the same route. Find the speed of each train. So we know the express is 25 miles per hour faster than the cargo. So the express would be X plus 25, the cargo would be X. The express train only takes 6 hours when the cargo takes 9 hours. So we multiply those two together to get the distance or representation for the distance of each. 6 times X plus 25, 9 times X. So they travel the same route, so that means the distances are the same. So we set those distances equal to each other. So the 6 times X plus 25 equal to 9X. Distribute the 6. That's 6X plus 150. Subtract 6X from both sides. That's 150 equal to 3X. Divide by 3. X is equal to 50. This means that the cargo train went 50 miles per hour, and then the express train went 75 miles per hour because it's supposed to go 25 miles per hour faster than the cargo. Let me know if you have any questions.